Pirate Money Radio, helping you give, spend, and invest in ways that align with liberty, security, and values. Welcome back with your host, Kevin Freeman.
And Mike Carter is here with me also. We're talking pirate money, something Mike and I have been working on now for, 18 months? I've been dreaming of this for, 40 years. And now we're beginning to see it implemented. We're seeing a lot of people showing interest. We're educational in nature. That's what we're doing, is educating. But we're finding legislators and real American citizens across the country are saying, I want this. I want real gold and silver that I can spend and not too expensive to acquire, safely stored for me, someplace I can trust, that I won't be taxed on. Well, the founders gave us this in the Constitution. What is it? Article 1, Section 10?
Article 1, Section 10. And you know, Kevin, what I appreciate about you is you're so able to see into the future. You're prescient in terms of issues and how to solve those things. And that vision or dream you had 40 years ago is becoming a reality today. But what's amazing is how hidden it's been from people until now, until Pirate Money book came out, till people see it's right here in the Constitution, and then they see the technology is there to make it happen today. It makes it super, super exciting. And then we see another huge reason we need this is this whole CBDC threat and what that means to us.
Yeah, central bank digital currency is a huge threat to our livelihood, our privacy, really our liberty. And so we've compiled a clip of various people from the Bank of International Settlements, the International Monetary Fund, the World Economic Forum. These are the globalists that want to take over our money, control of our money supply. And it looks like President Biden in Executive Order 14067 is going along with them, wanting to implement this. Let's listen in their own words what three gentlemen from the globalist, pinnacle of economics say about what central bank digital currency is like and what it will mean for you personally. Let's roll that clip.
All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations.
Okay, let's stop here. This guy is the head of the Bank for International Settlements. Now, we had a whistleblower who called us in who was a contractor working at the BIS and said, they're working on the key words. He said, absolute control. He said, with US dollars, with paper money, you go in, nobody knows who you are. You spend a $100 bill, they don't know where it came from, they don't know where it's going, they don't know who had it. But they will know exactly who you are, exactly what you're doing with it, and they'll have absolute control. Our whistleblower said they're very close to enacting this. So that's the Bank of International Settlements, which is BIS, which is the banker of banks. And they really are at the top of the banking food chain. All right, now let's talk about
and then the scary part about that is he came right out and said it. The problem is we don't know who's spending that $100. We don't know who's spending that $1,000. Do I really need somebody to be policing me and everything that I spend?
They said the problem is we don't have absolute control, and we will have absolute control. That's the message there. Okay, so he's senior manager of the BIS. Let's go now to the International Monetary Fund and see what they say about central bank digital currency.
And the one final note I will make is that
this
if you
World
think
Economic
about
Forum.
the benefits of digital money, there are huge potential gains. It's not just about digital forms of physical currency. You can have programmability, units of central bank currency with expiry dates. You could have, as I argue in my book, a potentially better and some people might see it, or a darker world where the government decides that units of central bank money can be used to purchase some things, but not other things that it deems less desirable, like say ammunition or drugs or pornography or something of the sort. And that is very powerful in terms of the use of a CBDC, and I think also extremely dangerous for central banks. Because ultimately, if you have different units of central bank money with different characteristics, or if you use central bank money as a conduit for economic policies in a very targeted way, or more broadly for social policies that could really affect the integrity of central bank money and the integrity and independence of central banks.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. What he just said is he said with the central bank digital currency, you can have control in that you can have expiry dates. That means your money could expire like a coupon expires. And you go to pay for something and say, I'm sorry, your money's not good anymore. But you can also say that you are against ammunition, and so you go to buy ammunition, and they cut you. I said, no, you can't buy ammunition. You can buy baby formula, but not ammunition with this for absolute control. So this is World Economic Forum. Now, we also saw a clip that we rolled in our presentation from the International Monetary Fund, where they were saying the exact same things. This is the same song by everyone. This is the goal of central bank digital currency, absolute control, shutting your money off. And then the IMF guy said you can take it for equity purposes, meaning, Mike, if you have more than I have, they could take money from you and give it to me because you're too white, or you're too this, or you're too that, or you're a man. I said I was a woman today, so they'll take some of your money and give it to me, right?
Yeah, and that reinforces again why it's time to use the pirate money clause that's in the Constitution. We don't want to give up our liberty, our economic freedoms. And we are on a pathway to that happening. They're not hiding it. They're saying what they want to do with this.
They're saying exactly what they want to do with this. But here's the problem. If the federal government chooses to do that and they make that money constitutionally, there's nothing you can do about it, because the Congress has the power to coin money. And if they choose to coin it digitally, they can. And if they choose to program it, they can. You can fight it in the state legislature all you want, but we fought for the Defense of Marriage Act. It even passed in California, and guess what? It didn't matter. Defense of Marriage Act was overridden by a federal court. And Congress can override those kind of things. We had that with the speed limits, where they said 55 miles an hour is the fastest and you can travel in the United States. And the states said, hey, wait a minute, that's state policy, not federal policy. And they said, well, then we won't give you any money. We'll cut you off. They'll be able to do that. But there is an alternative, a clause left in the Constitution, 17 words, that the state can have its own money as long as it's gold and silver. And with modern technology, gold doubloons and pieces of 8, or gold and silver bullion under court rulings, with modern technology, you can make that spendable. And if you make gold and silver spendable, you have an alternative monetary system. It is a brilliant answer that George Washington and James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, they all gave us, Alexander Hamilton, in the Constitution. And by the way, that's why we are promoting pirate money, as states should exercise their constitutional rights.
That's right. We're promoting the legislation. And as we get this legislation done, it's not going to just be Texas. It's going to be Florida. It's going to be Utah. It's going to be Oklahoma. It's going to be Iowa. It's going to be Kansas. Any of these states out there that are really constitutional focused will see that the opportunity to execute this and stand together to make sure that they stay strong.
And you've got to use your money for good purposes. God expects that from us.
Yes.
He said, this is something I've given you. It belongs to him. By the way, there are only 3 things you can do with your money. You can give it, you can spend it, or you can invest it. Here at Pirate Money Radio, we work to explain solutions that support all 3 areas in a way that promotes liberty, security, and values. Patriot Mobile, a mobile phone company, supports the Pirate Money Radio program. Patriot Mobile uses U.S. carriers, including AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, and operates both on Apple and Android phones. For more information about the Economic War Room and Patriot Mobile, you can find it available at piratemoneyradio.com/AFR. That's piratemoneyradio.com/AFR. And we're here in the convention in Texas talking about pirate money, but Texas is not the only state that's looking at this.
No, it's not. And I got a question from an audience member here just asking, well, if it gets done in Texas or it gets done in Florida and I live in a state, I don't know where they're from, let's say Minnesota, can I still transact and take advantage of what's going on in Texas and Florida?
I believe you can. Based on Briscoe versus Bank of Kentucky ruling, people were circulating Bank of Kentucky notes throughout the United States, and they were considered acceptable legal tender because they were represented by gold and silver. The court ruled in favor of that. So Minnesota or Kansas or Massachusetts or North Dakota or Florida, it doesn't matter. We just need to win in one or more states to get this constitutional right given to you. And we're not political in this. We're educational in this. When people are educated on it, they say that that's what they want. Money is right now being threatened. It's a serious problem that we're having. By the way, that was a great question. And if you have a question, you can send us your questions at afr@piratemoneyradio.com. That's afr@piratemoneyradio.com. Just send us an email, and we'll try and respond to your question on a future program. Mike, where can people learn more about what we're doing here?
Transactionalgold.com is a great resource just to kind of see what's happening across a number of states out there. But piratemoneybook.com is the resource to go to. I really encourage everybody to order that book, order multiple copies of that book. In fact, we have a bundle. You can buy 10 of them at special pricing.
Well, now wait a minute. We're not selling anything here.
Yes, I know.
No.
I get over enthusiastic trying to get the word out and educate.
No, you can learn a lot about pirate money at piratemoneybook.com if you want more information. Again, we're not trying to sell anything here. We just want to educate people. That's our goal here. If you want to understand why trust, taxes, and taking mandate this be done at the state level, if you want to understand what banks think of this, or why the Wizard of Oz is an economic allegory and why you can learn so much about the monetary system from a children's book, all of those things, they're in the book Pirate Money. We're just here to help people be educated. We're here for Saturday morning, just enjoying on American Family Radio and sharing with people all the things that they should learn about a monetary solution that our founders, like General Washington here, President Washington, put into the Constitution. And it's a privilege to be working with you, Mike. It's been fun being here at the convention with you and the talks that we've given. All right, Pirate Money Radio. We cover this topic and many others. We hope you'll join us again next Saturday. This is Pirate Money Radio with Kevin Freeman and Mike Carter, bringing solutions every week.